You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. I'm your boy, Al Mega, and today we have an awesome creative individual on deck. This person has been a cover designer and an animator, graphic designer, author. I mean, she's helped my homie on their awesome cover for Perspectives for ASAP. The one, the only ultimate designer, the queen of graphic design, soon to be the one only Kelsey Connors. Wepa, how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? Pretty good.
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me to talk about process, creativity, and why you did this journey to bless every type of creative person out there with amazing designs.
Yeah, absolutely, Al. And well, I can start with the journey a bit. It's been quite a serious journey. Actually, I just moved into a new home, bought my first house last week. So
Yay! That's the way to start a year. Well, I love it. Good stuff. Well, congratulations on that. Is that because of all the amazing designs, bought that house or what?
Yes, yeah, I've become a millionaire overnight. No, really, it's just been the process of, life and working that 9 to 5 grind and all that. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, where you from originally? Where you grew up at?
Well, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, born and bred, and then I've lived all over the world. I'm currently broadcasting to you from Liverpool in the United Kingdom. So,
oh, darn, yeah. Traveling, check you out. So talk about growing up in Chicago. Were you interested in design and pop culture and the arts back then, or is something that you just, kind of fell upon to as you were growing up?
It's kind of a mixed question, but my mother started taking me to the Art Institute of Chicago when I was 4 years old. So we used to go and I remember that was like a big splurge for us. We had the monthly pass, so like going to see art was like always a huge thing for me. My entire life has been about like the creative world. So I guess it kind of started there. Really, is like from really being a really young girl and having the city at my fingertips and everything, and that culture being not like being exposed to that. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you start getting creative then? I mean, on this side of the graphics world.
So arts, like I said, art's really always been kind of part of my life, and I studied all the way up until it's university college actually, and I instead I think everyone kind of expected me to like go into like the physical art world, like painting, being a painter, and instead I kind of bypassed that and ended up studying the classical art side of things. So like ancient Greece and Rome, if you're not familiar. The actual technical term is classical studies.
Artsy art.
Yeah, so I've been studying history and historical art for a long time. And then throughout the journey, I guess I just kind of ended up working in marketing. And when I was in, I don't know if you know this, but the creative industry is very hard to break into right away. Like when you come out of college and you've had this like beautiful university education that you paid for out of pocket, and then all of a sudden you're forced to.
Yeah, you're an intern.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So like I guess for me it was like I really wanted to like get to the grind, like start making money, stop living with my parents. So I basically just got into a marketing role like right out of college, and then started dabbling in that. And then a lot of graphics came into that, but it wasn't actually until I started to pursue publication of my own work that I got invested into cover design and like digital covers. And I actually, the story is that I was actually forced into learning Photoshop to like create something in negotiations with my publishing company. And they were providing me something that I wasn't happy with. So it was like I was thinking more of this, and I had to like turn over a project in basically 12 hours and learn in 12 hours. And,
damn, but you did it, apparently.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I was like, right, if I want, it's like I'm one of those people who's like, if you want something done, you gotta, like, done right, you gotta do it yourself, kind of like, so yeah, I really just learned that. And then after that, I was obsessed because it was like a whole new world for me. It was like taking that physical art, like that whole creative world that I had been in love with my entire life, and then kind of combining that with like the digital aspect. So I'm self-taught. I actually didn't go to university of design, which is like something that's
Love it. That's the
it's
way it should be. We don't. We listen. A lot of us, when it comes to creativity, follow your heart, man. I mean,
yeah,
that art, that
exactly.
natural art, really comes from the heart and soul.
Absolutely, and I just feel like it's really important, especially for us like people to talk about. Like I'm 30, and like to talk about what it's like to be a 30-year-old, and like the expectations that like you have everything figured out at this age, but
See,
the
30s is the new
reality is,
20, folks. I thought she was in her
no
20s or
kidding.
something.
Seriously, it is seriously been like a journey. Like you think, I think we put a lot of pressure on kids to be like, okay, gotta figure it out by 25, and then start a family, start like this white picket fence reality, and that's just not how it is. I just feel like it's the beginning for me, you know?
Yeah, it's still big. Oh, believe me, I'm 46 and it's
Mm.
still beginning. I'm still in a grinding entrepreneurial journey over here. Like, geez,
Yeah,
you
I
always,
mean,
you know why? You're always gonna feel like a kid because you're always gonna learn something new every single day. Period.
seriously, and that's one of the beautiful parts of the creative industry, the comic industry, and all of these like combined fields that we're in, isn't it? It's like
So,
learn
how
is always learning school day.
So how is that?
Mhm.
You said you got into author and all that. I mean, what is all this? How are you so creative and making all this time to start fiddling in so many different parts of creativity, whether it's authorship, design, and all that, and talk about what did you author and how did that feel in that the progression there.
Well, I've when I was on here with ASAP, I remember I told you I'm a self-proclaimed Tolkienista. I was a big fantasy nerd from the time I was about 8 years old. So I think that's kind of how I got into that's a creative field. It's all into writing. So I was really obsessed with like fantasy literature and that whole world and the glory of being this like famous author and all this kind of thing. So yeah, that's really how I started writing myself, and then so it's just kind of like creating on all sides. And
That
so
must be
yeah,
fun. That must
yeah,
be fun because I can't draw for crap. I can't write for crap. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I could definitely put things together, make them look nice. At least I
no,
try.
that's the trick. Is they try to tell you that there's like some talent behind it, but in reality, like art and creativity, writing, it's a muscle, and you have to work it out in order to be good at it. So like practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice. Yeah, that's because my daughter is getting into that, into graphics, arts, and design. She's graduating from Full Sail. So
Oh,
just like you are with that entrepreneurial spirit, like I do not want to come out of here and work for free. I want to make some bank. So I'm pounding this into her head, girl. Open up your own business. She already did. I already gave her an idea. She has the business name and everything in her mind. So I'm like digging it. Yeah, girl power. Go ahead, show them what up.
well, yeah. I guess like it has been a bit of a hustle. Like I've had to like really take some hits over the years to kind of like
Hmm.
or like like let's just say learn to take tough love and criticism so that you can improve.
Ah, okay, yeah. Because sometimes the language of these people that doesn't come across as they're trying to give you some advice.
Yeah,
I've
no,
heard
no
I've heard
criticism
these people
welcome at
talk like,
this
yeah. They're like,
time.
oh man, wait, relax, guys. How you talking? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but have you found your journey difficult as a young creator?
Yes.
And a young woman at that, stepping into this field that's kind of dominated by males. Although every female I've seen has been kicking the dude's butt. So yeah, man. Let me tell you, I was out 2019 New York Comic Con inspired the hell out of me, my wife, and my daughter when we were going through Artist Alley, and every female that was there was like, "Oh my God, you're a skill! Like, where have you been all my life? Why have I
Yeah.
not been able to spend my money on these arts?"
It is, and it is a difficult. It is like this like fandom and comics and Comic Con in general. I'm a cosplayer myself, fun fact.
Hey,
So,
what's your favorite cosplay?
well, I cosplay Ygritte from Game of Thrones.
Hey,
Yeah,
awesome.
so that was
You
my
can
big
send me
one.
that pic. I would have liked to see.
Yeah, I'm quite young there, but yeah, I mean, it's like there's the fine line between like the being an artist and being a booth bunny and like that whole stereotype there. And you really like we really do have to work to like go past that, I think, because like it's been, that narrative has kind of been set for us already. So I think there is a lot of pressure to go like above and beyond in the comic industry, especially because you want to like showcase that you're a professional, but you can still be like a woman, a feminine woman, and still be just as good and still hustle just as hard. So
Yeah, good commentary there. That's right. Yo, showing that hustling right there. ASAP is on. Sharing some love. Thank you, ASAP.
thank
Love you too,
you.
man. Hey, folks, you got your best independent comics right there. Amongst the best
Mhm.
independent comics, no doubt. But what I want to talk about is some Bedrock Designs. I mean, the
Yeah, so
business now. Because I
Bedrock
want
is
people to start sending some money and dropping that paper at you
yeah,
to see
need some
some
more
designs.
projects. Need some projects. Yeah. So Bedrock is kind of symbolic. I mean, it's kind of a double entendre, which I like. It's a little bit like saucy at the same time. But
Hey.
yeah, exactly. But Bedrock kind of represents like two things. One, I think of, I don't know if you're familiar with Minecraft at all, but when you hit Bedrock in Minecraft, you find diamonds, right?
Okay.
So that's one inspiration, but basically is the whole idea of like hitting rock bottom. Once you hit rock bottom, the only places to go is up. So I kind of like wanted to pose, like make my business represent that because the two hardest times in my life have been the best jumping off points for really good times that followed and have been the start of like an incredible era for me.
And that
So
was because he was smart enough to realize that was an opportunity to direct and go elsewhere. A lot of people don't understand that opportunity comes. That's the crossroad. So you obviously went the right road
exactly,
to make
absolutely.
something
And
happen.
like I always say that it like does like quite annoy me when people like to complain about things, but they don't want to like put something behind that. Now, of course, everybody's circumstances are different. Like we don't all have the same 24 hours in a day or whatever. Like it's difficult for some people to get out of their current situation, which I get. But like I think the best thing that you could possibly do is like if you find a problem with something, do whatever you can to change that because you got to keep moving forward. Honestly,
Yes, you do. Always forward. That's what a great Puerto Rican hero had said. Pa'lante, pa'lante, siempre pa'lante. That means forward, always forward. You never look
exactly.
back. Because again, if you look back, the devil's gonna catch up to your ass, and that's gonna be naughty things happen that you don't want.
Seriously, I guess like this like most recent journey has been like I've experienced two COVID redundancies because of the
Oh
pandemic.
wow.
Yeah. So it's been a really this recent period of my life has been actually quite difficult. So, but it has been the start of Bedrock and like becoming a freelance artist. And my whole goal was to become freelance by the time I was 40. But then this opportunity happens, and like it was my it's funny. I was talking to my mom on the phone the other day, and she was like, "You tweeted that you wanted to be freelance by 40," and she's like, "No, make it now. Like do it now."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's we're here now, right? Talking about that. So
Go, mom. That's right.
yeah,
Do it
yeah,
right
mom.
now. What are you waiting for?
The
Yeah, take
hustle
over
real
now.
over there in Chicago.
Let's talk about some of this hustle. Hold on, let me put
Yeah.
out this little reel right here that we had that you sent me. I mean, some awesome designs. I mean, look at that. Talk about those designs that you have that you're teasing me with
Yeah,
here. I
so
mean,
these are my animations. So you can see some of the covers of like my
oof,
closest friends on Twitter. Some of my closest writing buddies, and I went through when I was learning to do animation for the first
very
time.
nice.
I was like, "Hey, can I animate your book cover?" So they were like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I gave them free animation. So now like I'm starting to take more to take on like a larger audience like of cover animations. It's quite those are quite fun actually. Yeah. Well, then I've also gotten a few covers commissioned. I think that we'll see. Like I think I've got included a couple in the reel. Yeah. So this
You
is
sent me a couple of things. So what's this? What's the sense in it? And how did you come across it? This guy? Did you read the book, or is something you were just digging into? I mean, what's the inspiration
no.
behind this
So
design?
this was a commission. This was a
It's a
commission by
commission.
a
Oh,
client.
damn.
Yeah, commissioned by a client who had a fantasy novel that they needed a cover for. So it's I think it's about a girl who can control the elements. There's some interworld type of magic and big battles and yeah. So this was this This is one of my most recent covers.
Love the font used on it too.
Thank you. I think we're just really inspired as like a female. I like to see like faces, especially in fantasy. We like especially female like driven fantasy. We see a lot of like individuals on covers, and I think that's because we like to imagine ourselves very heavily into the place. It's like the character. So that's kind of how this.
Hey, we put an our piece in there, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love this retro coloring. Look at this. This looks nice. Well done.
This one is actually there's kind of a story behind it. I'm actually currently the creative lead for a company called Alternate Experiences. They're a games platform. They use gamification. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's kind of like the psyche behind games and how they motivate us exterior to other motivators in life, like financial gain.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of really fun personalized logos for companies, for actually really big blue chip companies like Google and eBay. And yeah, so this is just one of the examples of like a mini brand that I had to create for a personalized digital game that we created. So
What's a typical project like for you in terms of time and and thought process and whatnot?
well, it's a good question. It really depends. Book covers take a lot longer than something like this that you're looking at now. But these little projects do help because I like to look at things like when I find really cool designs and try to recreate them. So it gives me an opportunity to do that as well. This is one of my favorites. Okay,
I'm
so
digging this. So 8-bit.
this
I love
is
it.
my first 8-bit character. She's, I think her name is, we named her Level Up Lisa, who, Lisa was a late aunt of mine who means a lot to me, so I just nicknamed her in the alliteration with the brand. So, Level Up was actually the umbrella over all external projects that we did, all external marketing we did at AU, so basically like the podcast, the virtual like emails, like anything that was being sent, any extras that they could get by like joining the alternate experiences team, basically. So I created her as kind of like the mascot to kind of like make it a bit more fun, and really instill that like 8-bit like Atari kind of old school Nintendo feel.
Yeah. Captured. Job well done. I really like this one a lot too.
Thanks.
Ooh, what's this? Not another network. Ooh,
Another
what's
network
this?
was an external product that we created that we were using for a time. But this is actually an important piece for me because it's my first time playing with Isometric Font, which is fonts that are like that 3D style. So I hadn't really had any projects where I got to do anything like that before. So this was really fun for me because I got to explore a whole nother side of Adobe that I hadn't before.
Was it challenging to learn that side opposed to what you were doing?
No, so so there's two things that you have to understand about design when you're learning it. One, there's there's the computer, there's the bits that are technical. So you can learn how to do anything. There are YouTube's channels and all sorts dedicated to learning how the technical, like how to make a font 3D, how to make it isometric. However, the real thing that you have to learn through doing them through practice is things like font, like how to space things, how design should be laid out on a page. You can't just make something 3D because then you have like word art from, remember 1995 Microsoft Word.
Oh wow, taking it back. My gosh.
Yeah, so there's like the aesthetic part of design. There is a lot to learn there, and that is like one pro I would say for going to like a university program or a college program for design is that you do get a lot of that. But then on the other hand, there's the bias of professors. There's like so much information on the web now that I think you can really, if you're dedicated to it, you can do.
Heck yes. Even when you work with a company, just tell them, hey, can I get the LinkedIn learning? Hey, and you get all the courses there. Let them pay for it.
Exactly. Actually, my company that I'm currently working for, they do a program where if you're reading, you can get like paid extra hours for like reading about like for something for the job, basically.
Oh,
So
nice. Well,
to look into, like, and also if you like, I would recommend to anybody who's looking into going into doing this, but they like feel like they're not like trained up in like one thing or the other, and they feel like one thing that is creative universal is the crippling fear of not being good enough and imposter syndrome. If you're feeling the imposter syndrome and you want to learn something more, like speak up, because it's a constantly evolving platform, you know.
Yes, it
So
is. And talk about this, hey,
perspective,
perspective. That beautiful book from ASAP, like that in any one word that's kicking ass for good as well. So talk about
yeah.
this.
Yeah, so this is the cover that I created from Perspectives, and obviously with speaking back and forth with Lori and Hayden. So basically, what can I say? They did a book for charity. I think that is the coolest thing, and not only that, but a lot of the authors that we worked with, I've known for 10 years and never met in person. I finally got to speak with them on your show when we did that, which is one of the coolest experiences, because like, you feel like you know someone and then like you don't, but you only know them through the internet. So, but yeah, so we really just wanted to represent like the word perspectives, and what better way to do that than through the eyes.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love the design on this. You have people hooked. I'm showing off the whole team right there. Behind this whole stuff. Including yourself, of course. Visit that amazing website there. You could pick up and see this book and the work from this team. And Kelsey's awesome designs there. I mean,
Yeah, all the
that's the realness. And there you go. And look at this. There goes a recommendation, folks, from the CEO of ASAP Comics himself, saying that
thank you.
Kelsey is a joy to work with. So right here we have an on-air recommendation that if you're looking to get some work done, some old design on a very professional. I mean, you hear this young lady, holy smokes, man, she's blowing my mind. Like now, I feel like I really need to go and start really picking up my slack. Like you're inspiring me, lady. You're really inspiring me. I
Thank
like it,
you.
especially when it comes to design. You're like telling me these words. Like I want to start looking at all this stuff later on, and let me see how I could start messing around with my designs.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
what else do we have coming up on the block for you? Do we have any new projects, any interesting things coming from you in the next coming months or weeks for this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm currently doing some work for a family member who's actually an influencer. So I'm kind of really digging into the visual identity world and working in branding. And, ultimately, I'd love to work freelance for an agency. And I think that's really the goal coming up, is like to take on a couple of creative roles at freelance, so that I could, be my own boss, which is kind of the ultimate dream.
Get it done. Get it done. I mean, why not? I mean, you already have an awesome looking resume. You have an on-air recommendation. I'm sure he'll put that in writing too, right? Would you, right? I mean, I would too, because I'm thinking the energy, the passion, the fire is there, already. And Mama's right. Not 40 now.
Yeah, 40
So
now. It's good to put that on my wall, like in big letters.
yeah, right. Not 40 now, and then have your mom sign it and put
Yeah.
a picture there, looking at you like you heard me, right?
Shade, yeah.
so so any advice for like even like for someone like my daughter, again, as a young lady, wanting to step up into this game of design and all, like what type of advice, based on your journey thus far, can you give up and comers as well?
Yeah, I definitely have a couple bits, because there's been some people who have helped me. So I think that's where I would start, actually, is, you know, um, was it Gretzky that said, every shot you don't take, you miss? Like that is the quote. So if you have a question, or if you don't think you're good enough, run your stuff past somebody. And one of the smartest things I did actually got me into these more top tier roles and create the creatives. And I think I bypassed a lot of can I swear? Well, doing doing is that I just went straight to a senior designer, who I knew we hadn't spoken a long time, and I said, listen, I have this portfolio, but I don't know. I want to move from marketing and being somebody in marketing, which I don't like, and fully into the creative world. Like it's my 9 to 5. Like I want to do that. How do I do this? And a lot of people that I had asked were like, well, you're going to have to take a pay cut. You're going to have to do a junior role, all this. But, John actually told me, he was like, this is shit, this is shit, this is shit in your portfolio. He's like, you need to take them out. And it was so hard to hear at the time. It was so hard to hear at the time. It was. But he was honest with me, and like getting tough like that, that's what I would say. One, get tough. Two, take the shot, like ask, because I took them out. I redid my portfolio a bit, and and that's how I actually landed a creative lead role. So I went above into creative lead. So yeah, so it's worth it. And if you want something, really do it. And if you have the support, take it. Don't be too hard. If you have somebody going like, you could, mom or dad or whoever saying, come and stay while you're trying to make this happen. Take it. Don't be proud. Like, take all the love and you can get in the journey, because everybody's there.
Let me ask, were you a shy person? Were you timid and wanting to ask? No, or you just said, "To hell with it, I'm asking."
No, that's
the latter, not the former.
My friends, my British friends over here are like quite embarrassed about me. That's actually how I met my partner.
They're like, "There's not American. What's wrong with this young lady?"
And it's like she's like a lot. So yeah, no. If you want something, you literally just have to like grow up there and do it.
That's the truth. You know what? You are wise beyond your years, because that is the truth. Because again, if you don't ask, you don't get. You know what I mean? And it's true. Don't ask your friends for advice. How does this look? Your friends never want to hurt your feelings. They want to feel that they're motivating you, not understanding that by not being honest, they're really hurting you a lot more.
Honestly, it is the same in everything. Like look at sports, for example. Like the best footballers in the world are the ones who continuously attempt in your life. Just try and try and try. And like, when you fail, it's not easy, because everybody's like, oh, you fail, everybody fails. Like it's all only onward and upward, and it's really hard to hear that at the time, but it is absolutely true. Like you just have to pull yourself up and see it's like, okay, well, this avenue hasn't worked for me, so now I have more attention to give the others.
Look at this. Wow, inspiring. I love it. I love the energy here. Folks, you hear this. There's a passionate young woman here, killing it. You know what I mean? Let's make her a business owner before 40, before 35, actually, this year, all right? Let's make it happen, all right? Let's make sure that she's popping off all over. If you guys need any type of design work, you already saw some of the samples. I mean, gorgeous stuff. It's right there, bedrockdesigns.wixsite.com. Please visit that site. I mean, are they able to contact you through there as well? Should they have any questions and whatnot?
Yeah, they absolutely can. And reach out to me on Twitter if you have Twitter as well, because I use it for writing and business. So that's a great one to.
And there you go. It's Kelsey L Connors, Connors. All right, on Twitter. So check her out there. Tell her Mega sent you. Like, I saw you on the show. I need you. I need your help. There we go. And she's definitely going to be there. Does the website also have like a rate chart, or is that something to be discussed upon, or is that like dependent on the project and all that?
That's always something that you discuss through me. And that's a good tip for inspiring designers. Never put your rates on your website. The reason is that people click on and they might decide by that rate that they don't want a conversation with you, but it might be a conversation with you that sells them on you and your product. So always talk to your designer. Always talk to people, because you never know what
it's an opportunity for upselling, folks.
You don't want to rip people off.
Not only plan, but it's an opportunity to really talk about the project and make them probably see the project on a scale that they maybe they see it one way, and you can help them see it. Oh, if we went this route, I mean, think about it again. You open imagination, and it's just true. Don't put your rates. Definitely have the conversation with the creative person, because they definitely may make you see things in a way that maybe you didn't view it before. Like
exactly. And like sometimes you don't really vibe with somebody. You wouldn't want to work with somebody you don't vibe with, right? So it's the best way to get to know you're getting the most bang for your buck.
Truth, you don't want to send these blind emails. Where's my stuff? How about, hey, can I call you? Have that relationship. You see?
Or the other way, I might be crazy. You know?
Nah, but I think you're awesome. I appreciate your time here today, folks. You gotta again visit the website, contact her. She's ready to work right now. All right, let's make 2022 a year. She just got a house, man. Let's make sure that she could get another house by the end of this year too. Make it the Chicago real estate mogul of the UK of Liverpool. Let's do it. Now, you've been awesome. I appreciate your time, folks. You know, my author tells you what to do. Please, if you enjoy the content, you turn on the notifications, subscribe. Please review us on your favorite podcast platform. All right. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much, man. Thank you for helping Comic Crusaders stay up in ranking. Thank you for joining, listening to a young lady like this. That's the future of art and design, you know, a future leader right there. Let me tell you, all right? I'm Mega, and I'm out. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.